Alright, so today I've got the Kingdom of Bretonnia facing up against the Skaven. And today we're going to be led by the Fey Enchantress, and I think she's a really powerful pick against the Skaven because she's got, well, the two spells that I brought were Earthblood and Regrowth to provide some healing. She's also got the Favor of the Fey, the Chalice of Potions to deal with when they start blobbing up, and the Mist of the Lady. Oh, where is it? The Mist of the Lady to provide -5 melee attack and a Mortis Engine type effect, causing damage to all those around her. Because Skaven have such low HP, and some of the units have like a physical resist that should do a lot of damage. In the front line, I've got two units of Peasant Mob, going to be led by a Paladin. Paladin's going to be leading that front line, and I've got in my second line, I've got a unit of Foot Squires to deal with to do piercing and infantry, and they're just a really powerful unit. And then I've got three Battle Pilgrims to be my main meat bread and butter, as they say. Got a unit of Spearmen at Arms at the flanks here to deal with Rat Ogres or Doom Wheels. And then speaking of Doom Wheels, I brought a Grail Reliquary to provide immunity, psychology, and frenzy, which is really strong. Like those Doom Wheels come in through your lines, causing terror. Um, I just think it's a must bring in every matchup. So I've actually got three lines, and in the third line I've got Foot Squires, Spearmen at Arms, and Men at Arms. And I didn't bring the shield variant. I had to skip on the money a little bit. But they're just there to mainly protect my archers. So I've got two units of Peasant Bowmen with poison arrows. I've got Knights of the Realm, deal with anti-large, Doom Wheels, and Rat Ogres, as I was saying before. On the other flank, I have Questing Knights. So I wanted some normal cavalry. I wanted some cavalry that could stick around in combat and just cut through them quite well. So I brought some of these guys. In the forest over here, I brought a unit of Grail Guardians. And I didn't realize it before, but I think these guys got a buff in Mortal Empires because they have a plus 20% physical resist now, which is really strong. Um, they're not a shock cavalry as well, but they've got the what's it called, perfect vigor, so that they never tire. They've got a nice anti-infantry bonus, and they cause magical damage as well. So they should mitigate. They should just tear through that physical resist that a lot of Skaven units have, like Plague Monks and stuff like that. For my opponent, he's got a group of Death Runners deployed in Vanguard over here, and I don't see them because they're in Stalk. I assume he's got them there to just like troll me up the lines and potentially take out one of my shock cavalry. Because these guys got this armor sundering, which reduces armor by 50%, and they've got armor piercing on top of that, so they can be a really strong unit against Bretonnian Cav, I'd say. In the front line, he's got 4 units of Skaven Slaves. Second line, he's got three Clan Rats. He's got Lord Skrulk himself. He's got Poison Wind Globadier and Deathglow Bombardier, which I really like because he's got anti-large and anti-infantry capabilities there. Plague Monks, 2 units of Plague Monks, unit of Stormbowmen with Halberds to deal with my cavalry. These Rat Ogres are really tough, taking out my armored units, and they cause fear. They're a really powerful unit. They're fast. They can chase down cavalry quite well. He's got 2 units of Warp Lighting Cannons to snipe my cavalry again, and then unit Halberd. So he's definitely got a very large anti-cavalry build. So let's get this battle underway. So pretty much straight off the bat, I'm going to have to be advancing. And my cavalry is just going to be taking fire. Yeah, I've already lost 5 Questing Knights over there. So I'm just going to have to find a place to move them around and keep them safe from harm as long as possible. They're just going to be taking a decent amount of damage until the battle starts there. So I start seeing these death runners on the right flank, which I'm worried about. And here, I set all my units to go up, but the Fey Enchantress, she's so fast. She gets overzealous and she starts charging in against these Skaven slaves. And I realize what she's doing. I realize that I don't want her charging in there, so I pull her back at the last second. And it's kind of funny here because the Deathglow Bombardiers try to throw their thing at her, and they end up by doing a decent amount of friendly fire there. It's quite amusing, but I pull her back because I don't want her in that type of engagement. And the frontline engagement is about to begin with the peasant mob engaging the Skaven slaves, and that should be an even fight. I do believe they're both fodder units. I'm having my archers turn around here and take out these priority unit, these death runners over here. I think that's a really good target for these peasant archers because they don't have much armor. They have dodge actually. Oh, I was going to say they don't have a shield. I don't know what their dodge bonus is. But I'm going to start shooting them in with my archers, doing a decent amount of damage there. I don't want to take out that elite unit there. And my paladin here, he runs straight through. He's meant to be fighting with these guys. He ends up by just running straight through their lines, and I realize that he's He's in like no man's land here. I'm gonna keep running him forward as these second and third lines of infantry start moving up. And they should probably have these, I'm not sure what the range of these Deathglare Bombardiers, but they should probably move them up a bit because they're probably doing a decent amount of friendly fire. I can tell they're doing a number on my troops as well though. So maybe not. But I got my Paladin up here and he's in the back lines here, so we'll see what he can do. Yeah, okay, over here these Death Runners, they start moving into my flanks. Fortunately I've got a unit of Questing Knights, and these Questing Knights should... I'm not sure how effective the trade is because they'll reduce armor by 50%. So those Questing Knights are going to take a fair amount of damage from that combat. But I definitely don't want those Death Runners running around in my back lines. Oh, they were going for my archers. That's what they were doing. They're sneaky. So I'm going to pull my Grail Guardians out of the forest. Hopefully move them up here. Do not want them getting shot by those Warp Lightning Cannons. I'll be shifting my... going to be shifting my arrows around to be shooting on these Deathglare Bombardiers. So my Paladin who broke their lines there, I told him I wanted to go shut down those Deathglare Bombardiers. The anti-infantry that they do is just ridiculous. So I sent him through there, and now he's going to be tying down these 4 units, it looks like, 3 or 4 units there. Had the archers there to support him as well. And so my second line of troops is starting to push up. Looks like all the frontline peasants broke, and my front line should be able to cleave through those clan rats quite well. My Knights of the Realm, which has been being focused on this entire game, look, they're already at half health. I want them to go and take down those Warp Lightning Cannons, so I'm moving them up with a unit of Spearmen. And yeah, their front line is just getting annihilated. But my Questing Knights, wow, they're taking so much damage, so I pop a heal on them, a regrowth, and then hopefully they can run off those Death Runners. I don't want them fighting us. And so it looks like that Paladin there is going to just be taking on the whole army by himself. And so I do manage to get my Knights of the Realm to charge into their cavalry, into their artillery there. But immediately I'm going to have to pull back because my opponent does a really good job moving up his Stern Vermin here to intercept them. And so I end up by pulling my Spearmen back around here as well. I don't want to lose my Paladin. I don't want him to get bogged down, but he is tying down all these units, so it's going to allow my Spearmen to get a rear charge and for my cavalry to come back and do a rear charge into that pocket of infantry as well. And so my Questing Knights over here have routed off those Death Runners. Don't want to see them again, so I'm just going to have to chase them off the field, which should be quite good. So my Grail Guardians over here, they've got around to the back flanks and they're completely unimpeded. Those artillery guns aren't even looking at them, and they're just completely unopposed at this stage. So they're in a really strong position there. So my cavalry comes in for a nice rear charge there. It's going to be a little bit dangerous with the Plague Monks and the Rat Ogres there, so they might take a bit of damage if I keep them in that sustained combat for too long there. These Foot Squires should tear through those guys, and they should. I'm not sure how they go against Plague Monks. I assume they should do fairly well against Plague Monks. I don't think Plague Monks are the best armor piercing. Let me check that. Sorry. No, they should cut through Plague Monks quite well as well. So I'm start focusing on these Deathglare Bombardiers, Poison Wing Globadiers, and I'm going to get a rear charge on my Grail Guardians because I don't like that anti-large being on the field. It's a devastating rear charge. And I'm going to cast, what is that? Blessed with Filth, I think, reduces their armor. That's really strong. And then over here, of course, Chalice of Potions. I see this blob of Skaven, so I'm going to put a Chalice of Potions down. And the damage that thing's going to do, just disrupt all that formation, is going to be so powerful. I think it's going to let my, I don't see my Paladin at the moment, but I think it's going to let him escape from that combat. So over here, I'm pulling back my Grail Guardians because they're pushing in, I don't want them to get swarmed by clan rats and then just not be able to get the full use out of them. So I've got my peasants in the back here, but they're grouped up in this ridiculous formation. So I've got to watch out if they spawn any units in the back here. I'm going to be in a little bit of trouble. But there's this big blob going in the middle here, and we're going to have to deal with that. There's a large Skaven blob. I'm going to come around and do a rear charge into these Plague Monks, and that should do a ton of damage and allow this right flank to collapse into the middle here. Skrulk is looking a little bit isolated at this stage, and they haven't turned their artillery guns back around. They're going to have to get them. And it looks like they're starting to focus down my Grail Guardians there with their cannons, which is going to be really dangerous. Need to pull these rallying units back into combat.
Come on, lads!
And yeah, just this big pocket here. They're casting all these spells to try and mitigate that one. What spells is that exactly? Sorry. Yeah, they'll wither to reduce my troops' armor so they can cut through them. But most of my troops there don't have the most armor. The other pilgrims only have 30, and they're up against. I guess it's for those plague monks. Those plague monks should do really well if my units have any armor to cut through. So I've got my Grail Guardians coming through now, and I definitely want to still shut down that artillery there. I don't want it to keep firing on my troops. So I'm going to have to definitely send those guys after the thing. But my opponent does a really good job here. He pulls these Skaven slaves back, and they're going to be tying down those Grail Guardians if I don't do some quick thinking there. And look at that, it's just cleaving through them. I think it just dropped another 5 models. Oh my goodness. I definitely got to shut those things down. Here we go, just charging in now. Yeah, I managed to pull away from those Skaven slaves, and that one should not. That should be shut down now. But the other cannon still operational, so I've got those remaining 10 Knights of the Realm in here to tie down that other one as well. Definitely don't want them shooting. And Skrolk over here is surrounded. He's isolated. He's surrounded by this group of foot squires who should be able to rip through him quite well. I've got the Fey Enchantress. Definitely want her coming back into melee to get that Mortis Engine effect off. And I've got the Grail Reliquary parked here. I should probably have him more into the middle, but providing that bonus leadership and that frenzy ability, it's going to be really strong for my troops. I'll have to get some of these routing units back into combat. These questing knights look like they've come back from killing those Death Runners. So I'm going to have to get them to send into the battlefield now. So yeah, I've shut down those artillery at this stage. But, well played to my opponent. He pulls back his Rat Ogres. And those Rat Ogres are going to do a heap of damage if I keep those Grail Guardians in there for too long. They're armor piercing damage. They can chase them down too. So I do not want to stay in that sustained combat with the Rat Ogres. I can probably hold them back quite well, but that was really well played there. He should probably bring back some of his halberds as well, but I think they're holding the line against this big blob of Bretonnians that I've got in the middle there. Yeah, this artillery, he still doesn't have anything for that artillery, but definitely want to be pulling those Grail Guardians back. I think I drop regrowth so they don't take too much damage there. And these questing knights over here, I think I'm sending them in to get a nice rear charge into those Skaven slaves and just to help out against this Rat Ogres as well. So it seems like we're getting a decent amount of routing from the Skaven line, and so that's going to allow this right flank just to collapse into the middle here. It looks like they're summoning some... Are they summoning something there? No, apparently not. Alright, so yeah, definitely going to get send my casters straight into the middle here to start getting that Mortis Engine effect on the remaining troops they've got in the middle here. So it's just this big blob in the middle here, and they've got Storm Vermin, but they've got such strong armor, weak melee attack, but strong armor, and these Plague Monks still operational. And these Rat Ogres aren't in that fight anymore, so I'm definitely going to have to pull my Grail Guardians out of that combat, and I might be cycle charging some of these other slave units come rounding back in. Unfortunately, we've got some of these Poison Wind Globadiers who have rallied, so they're just going to be throwing into the rear of these questing knights, and they should just do a ton of damage to them. Which is not good for me. Yeah, they're just going to annihilate them and then get them with the Clan Rat. So well played to my opponent there. Yeah, he's coming in to summon here, and I've got these archers in this stupid formation, so those Plague Monks are just going to annihilate them if they're not careful. Skrolk is just taking heaps of damage from those foot squires. He doesn't really have a chance there. Definitely need to get those archers under control. He shouldn't be shutting down 2 archers like that. Really well played there. So I'm going to cast a Chalice of Potions in here to the middle of the line, and look at the damage that thing's going to do, and just send them all flying there. That's the danger of blobbing up like that. My units should be able to go through and cut through there. I don't know what the formation's doing there. They just did so much damage. Lord Skrolk, I think I send her in to attack Lord Skrolk. I definitely want to finish him off. My archers, yeah, I need to get my archers. Oh, they still have some Deathglow Bombardiers up. Even with only a handful of them, they've still got full ammo, still got 9 units. They're still going to do so much damage against all my my weakened units, and they've still got a very healthy unit of Rat Ogres on the flank here. But I do have my Grail Guardians. I'm not sure where they went before. Definitely shut down those artillery for now. Doing another charge. I definitely want to get those Poison Wind Globadiers up the field. So taking them out. So we just got this pitched fight in the middle here again. Fortunately, I've got things like Earthblood. Yeah, Earthblood pop in to heal up all my troops. Just keep them in the combat there. And it looks like those questing knights are just going to get completely run down. So my opponent does an awesome job here. Comes in from the side, does a side charge into my men-at-arms there, but they are spearmen, so once that charge wears off, they are going to be able to turn around and get a decent anti-large bonus on there. Although this unit of actually no, the spearman's actually wavering, so that's probably not going to be the case at all. But I still have this cavalry in the back here, just chasing down all these routing units and these Skaven slaves and these artillery crews, and just making sure they don't get back online. And Skrog's going to scurry away with 133 HP, and I definitely need to pull this Grail Reliquary into the middle there. I separated my archers out now, and I sent that unit of foot squires back to tie down those plague monks. Still got this big fight going on in the middle here, so I send the Fey Enchantress straight up the middle, just to get that Mortis Engine effect just on as many troops in the middle there as I can. And it looks like he did get his Warp Lightning Cannon back online, so he's going to be shooting into my Grail Guardians again. My opponent's done such a good job of just keeping that cannon as operational as often as he can. Looks like these troops are going to be, there's going to be a little bit of routing on my side, but I am going to get the cavalry back around and start trying to kill off all these rats on the cannons there. I'm just going to shoot at something there. I pulled the Grail Reliquary out the back there, I'm not sure why. But I think we're going to get a mass rout. I don't think Skaven can come back at this point. The foot squires should deal with those plague monks quite well, and then that's going to be the game. So really well played to my opponent. I liked his build. Some really good components of his build. I'm not sure if he used I'm not sure. Oh, my paladin ended by dying. I didn't even notice that. That was poor play by me, but he did well. He got them all surrounding him, and then that Chalice of Potions knocked in originally, and then all my units managed to get us around, so I definitely tied up his back lines there with him. These Death Runners I'm pretty sure they're a fairly expensive unit. To only get 6 kills like that was so good. They were a good choice. Maybe not deployed in the best position. He Storm Vermin with Halberds. These ones are probably cutting through peasants most of the game. The Plague Monks did fairly well. Those Deathglow Bombardiers, even though I tried to shut them down as fast as possible, they still managed to get 50 kills, so it's just a credit to how much damage those things do. These Skaven Slaves really didn't last much time at all, and I'm pretty sure at one stage the Peasant Mob and the Skaven Slaves actually routed at the same time, which is kind of funny. The Warp Lightning Cannons just sniping down my troops, and the Rat Ogres were they were a pretty solid pick, but maybe they should have been patrolling the backlines a little bit more to prevent my my Grail Guardians and my Questing Knights, because they did so much damage in the back. They managed to shut down their artillery, and these archers, they didn't do many kills, but they did provide that poison effect to enemies in the middle there, which allowed my Foot Squires and Battle Pilgrims to just do a ton of damage. So definitely well played to my opponent. That was a really fun game. GG.